What's up, guys? Welcome to week 6 in review. Game of the week. Probably one of the most exciting finishes ever for a fantasy football game. It was this week's big game. I told you it was going to be a big game. It lived up to the hype. It was actually decided on the final play of the Monday night game. Let's take a look back. 2 minutes to go with the Pitons and Big Leslie C-Row Brown Chow matchup is on the line. 2 minutes to play in that Monday night game. Pitons have a 1-point lead, 118-117. Pitons are playing with the Jets D. Leslie's got Reggie Bush going. Alright? The Jets offense has the ball. They don't do anything. They punt it away. The Jets defense comes onto the field. The Jets defense had given up about 297 yards at this point. Once they hit 300, you guessed it, Pitons are going to lose 2 points. So what happens? First play from scrimmage, Miami goes over 300 yards, and Pitons go from up 1 point to down 1 point. Miami still has the ball. Second down, nothing. Third down, sack by the Jets D. The score now becomes tied, 117 all. Leslie, huge bench scoring lead. Pitons about to lose their second game this year on bench points. But no. Last play of the game, Jets D gets another sack. Pitons win 118-117 and a fantastic finish. Let's see. We had... My bad. Right, so we get that 1 point victory, 118-117. Only 4 double digits for the #1 power ranked team, Pitons. They are now 5-1. Freeman led the way with 26 points on 303 yards and 2 touchdowns. Fred Jackson and the Jets D each had 24. Jackson, 121 rushing yards, including that 80-yard touchdown romp. He added another 47 yards receiving. Leslie had 5 in double digits and was led by Rodgers once again on 31 points with 310 yards, 3 touchdowns. Gore keeps rolling for another week, 141 yards and a score for 22 points. That's 62 points over the last 3 weeks. Only 4 teams reached the century mark this week in what was by far our lowest scoring week of the year. And the game of the week had half of those teams. Another team over 100 was the Chili Dogs. They won this year's annual White Bowl 103-98 over the Pilot Lights. Going into this contest, Pilot Lights dominating this matchup, this annual matchup, dominated by the Pilot Lights, had won 4 of the last 5 matchups. Both teams limping into this contest. Dogs had lost, as I said last week, 4 in a row. Pilot Lights, not doing much better, had lost 2 in a row. The Dogs get some redemption, and the Pilot Lights get their 3rd loss in a row. 4 in double digits for the Dogs, led by Brad Shaw. By far his best game of the year. He scored 32 on 104 rushing yards, including 3 one-yard touchdowns. Romo had 19. 5 in double digits for the Pilot Lights, led by Stafford's 23 and Ray Rice's 18. The other team, the last team to go over 100, was Loose Cannons. They topped Cats with Guns 108-83. That 25-point win represents the blowout of the week in a week of extremely close games. 4 of the 6 games decided by 13 points or less. Loose Cannons had 5 in double digits, led by Turner, his best game of the year, 27 on 139 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Colt McCoy gets into the action. He had 19 points. And the Bengals led the way for the loser, Cats with Guns, with 19. Bengals were 1 of 4 in double digits for the Cats. Team quarterback was another winner on Monday night. He got 16 points from his 2 Jets that were playing, to 12 points for Big Shirley's 1 Dolphin, which was Brandon Marshall. It was enough to keep him in the lead and the win, 85-76. 4 in double digits for the Super Simon. led by LaShawn McCoy's 21 on 126 rushing yards and a touchdown. Breeze had 19, and the Raiders D had 16, including a 101-yard defensive touchdown. 3 in double digits for Punani, led by Brady's 20 points. Big Daddy's win streak comes to an end at the hands and feet of Master Killer. 83-63 was the final in this contest. 3 in double digits for Master Killer, led by Eagles D 18. Again, by far their best output since opening weekend for that allegedly vaunted Eagles defense that wasn't going to let anybody score or do anything to them, but obviously didn't turn out that way. Andy Dalton, another name getting into the action, 16. Big Daddy also had 3 in double digits, led by Vic, 18 points. Clash City Rockers headbangers. Never in my decade and a half of playing fantasy football have I ever been so sure of victory like I was this past Sunday going into this matchup. Okay? Headbangers. They've got guys on buys. They got injuries. They got underperformers. Clash City Rockers, the highest scoring team in the league, have a murderer's row of receivers. And one Arian Foster coming off 2 weeks, averaging nearly 24 points a game. This wasn't even going to be close. It was a laugher. It was a laugher. I didn't even need to watch these games. But that is why we play the games. You guessed it. Headbangers win, Rockers lose. 96-83 final in this contest. 4 in double digits for the Headbangers, led by Mendenhall's 22, his best game of the year. He had 146 yards rushing and a touchdown. His substitute, Jacoby Jones, who was a recommended drop in not only on the Sirius XM Fantasy Sports station today, but also on CBS. He's a recommended drop. Scored 13, including a 32-yard touchdown. He hadn't scored a point in a month, okay? His previous high, 4. Okay, Dallas Clark, a forgotten man in a crappy indie team. Scored 9. He had a fumble. He would have scored 11. That would have been double digits and would have been his high, except he only tied his highest output with the 9, scoring only his 2nd touchdown of the entire year. Said Ben had 11. Eli had 11. And this game was over before the Sunday night contest even started. But just so Chopper could rub some salt in my wounds, some dude named Sazenbacher scored 7 points on 1 catch that happened to be a 13-yard touchdown. In Sazenbacher's defense, he actually has been scoring some points. The first 2 weeks he had double digits, but I think Chopper just picked him up this week to replace some of his missing guys. And what's he get? Touchdown. Come on, man, you're killing me. Come on, man. Oh, what are you gonna do? 4 in double digits for the Rockers, led by Jimmy Graham's 14 on 124. Big Ben also scored 14. Megatron had 13 on 113 yards. I'm telling you, I had over 500 yards of receiving, no touchdowns. That is impossible. I'd say it was impossible, except it just happened. The whole Clash City Rocker team, 1 touchdown. It was 1 passing touchdown by Ben Roethlisberger. Unbelievable. So, I was on all over the Stewie division last week. They had lost many games in a row. I think the number was 7 or something like that. 3 of the 4 teams in the division respond with wins. So, congratulations to the Stewie division, although they still have a firm grip on those bottom 4.
Daddy, you got me some more bread and butter.
More bread and butter. That's all I feed the kids around here, man. Keeps me in nice video equipment. Just give them bread and butter. Yes, so they still have a stranglehold on those bottom 4 power rankings. Loose Cannons and Clash City Rockers, tied for last, and Quagmire would both be tied for first in that Stewie division. This week, this is week 7, and it's going to be our first playoffs reference. We have 6 weeks in the books, and only 2 games separate any of the first place teams from any of the last place teams in any of the divisions. So it looks like we're going to go right down to the wire again this year for another fabulous finish. Talk about pools. Steve got paid. Steve got...
Hey, my TV.
Hi.
Hi, me.
Steve collected 80 bucks for his Survivor pool win. And the Pick'em. Oh my God. Or OMG as the cool kids say. The worst week ever. Abysmal. Terrible, Kenny. Terrible. 3 right picks was enough to lead the week. We had 2 teams get 3 right. 3 teams only got 1 right, and 2 teams got 2 right. The worst. It was a terrible week for everybody. So, what does that mean? Pitons still hold on to first place with 23 points. Big Daddy is in second with 22. And Leslie in third with 21. Got a couple big games coming up this week. One of which is Big Leslie Zero Brown Chow, 4-2, taking on, trying to bounce back as they take on the Clash City Rockers at 3-3. Also, Team QB, otherwise known as Super Simon, also 4-2, taking on Cats with Guns at 3-3. So a couple big games this week. All right, that's all I got from Peanut Butter Jelly Time headquarters. You guys have a great week. I'm going to be out of town this weekend, but somehow or another we'll get some messages through. Pick'em's already up and running for the week, so you can go ahead and make your picks there. And the kids still, I hear you. The kids still have my lost remote control, so here we go.